Hi folks, Tosin here. Back again today, just as I promised. My day was pretty good. Hope yours was too. Now for today's topic, I'd like to talk about why men only really need to provide and no longer protect women. At least not anymore in our modern 21st century world. Now this idea just came to me last night, but the reason I believe men don't actually have to protect for women anymore is because much of the world's countries are in relative peace and security. At least nations in the West anyways. Another reason men don't exactly need to protect women anymore is because we no longer live in the Middle Ages or the Renaissance period in human history. I'm sure I could go even further back than this, but you get the idea. Anyway, in today's modern times of relative abundance, advanced human civilization, excellent dwellings, and police presence, most women are protected for by male taxpayers who fund and advance these objectives for the general populace, at least far more than women since men pay more in taxes. Now, an individual man no longer has to protect. We've only slightly eased the burden of that aspect for the common man. Another reason men don't exactly have to protect women anymore is because women themselves oftentimes like to use this phrase. I'm a strong and independent woman. I don't need no man. I realize this idea goes beyond protecting for women, but also for providing for them as well. However, I believe as men, our number one priority and objective now should be to become excellent providers beyond all else. Now, why do I say this? I say this for two reasons. The first reason I say this is because a wealthy enough man can pay for the services or labor of other men to provide a safe and secure environment for a woman. And in modern times, this will likely always remain the case anyways. I mean, you see this already with many wealthy, famous, and important men having bodyguards. As long as you have something to exchange that can compensate for the efforts of many or the technologies available to you, the help will always be there. You just need some form of payment for those services. Now, reason two, I think we men no longer have to protect women is because women themselves, to an extent, can actually protect themselves. Now, what I mean by this is women themselves have their own money. And the idea of a woman using her money for anyone other than herself not only seems preposterous to some, but it's actually in fact encouraged. Remember, women are human beings and men are human doings. This also means that men and women's money is basically sorted out differently. A woman's money belongs to her, whereas a man's money belongs to the state, even if he's not providing, in the form of paying more in taxes. Also, even without money, a man generally will want to white knight for a woman. Unless that woman is ugly and unattractive, but even still. This goes back to my whole point of strong and independent women. Now I know women will complain to me and say it's a man's job to protect a woman, but I disagree. Women don't have to provide for anyone anyways, right? Well, if that's the case, then whatever money they make, they should use on themselves, since this is encouraged to begin with. So the way I see it, they may as well just focus it on that area, and we men can focus on the providing aspect. This, however, is pure conjecture, and I seriously doubt it will bring about any sort of monumental change in the hearts and minds of women, although it would be desired for sure. However, many women that divorce their husbands and live off that man's wealth in the form of alimony or child support from a beta male provider still manages to find a new man somewhere down the road to white knight for her. Knowing this, I think MGTOW is the best, and honestly, I still don't see any reform or true gender equality happening in my lifetime. After all, even if the provider aspect is essentially gone, or at least protector aspect, and men and women can now finally be reduced to providing one service each, i.e., the man now provides and the woman only nurtures. I still don't see how the responsibility can be shared, since a woman's job is easier and requires no real manual labor, or something she doesn't actually want to do. Now, before ladies harp on me in the comment section, how many of you actually hate your kids as opposed to your job? Think about it. Anyway, for you terrible mothers out there that actually hate your kids more than your job, then shame on you. But I digress. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, as well as subscribe to me here, and enjoy your morning, afternoon, or night, and ciao.